Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Prologue. As you know, a prologue in a book or a play sets the precedent which leads to the main story and gives context to what the main story is all about. So, here we have with us Mr. Biju Shivakumar, one of my good friends, a thinker, a philosopher, a marathon runner. How do you say, naturally intelligent, not artificially intelligent, and Biju will give us a little bit of insight about himself, and we will go into the prologue of Biju to understand what he is today, what is his backstory. Biju.
Yeah, hi, good evening, Ganga. Good evening, friends. Ganga, that's a little too much for me to handle. Thanks. Anyways, so yeah, for me, this is my 32nd year of shipping, and as an entrepreneur, this is the 12th year. But what I feel the ingredients, setup was as a child, I would say I was blessed to be born in a family where my father was serving Indian Air Force. So
Wow.
that ensured that I'm never settled. Every 2 years, we are into a new city, new schools. So adapt is the way of life. And I think that helped me in logistics too. You adapt to any situation. The situation today is one of the most unfortunate, what we witness,
True.
especially in the Middle East.
True.
But we have to adapt. We have to accept certain things are beyond our control. So yes, that initial grooming helped me in what I'm doing today. What else it helped me was in understanding that certain values are non-negotiable. Certain things like discipline is most important when you talk about in your personal life, and that reflects in your professional life by default. So again, that helped me in whatever I'm doing today. The culture, how to network with people because you are in different parts of the country. So picking up the languages, I think that comes then naturally when we are there at Prologue, connecting with people, touching hearts. That's how I would see. And obviously business would happen, and wealth creation is the incidental aspect of it. But what is more important is the kind of relationships we build over the period of time. So yeah, this is what I have to say. But if there's anything specific you want to ask, I'm ready to shoot.
We will get into that, but this is beautiful. Very, very well said. The discipline is very important. The money will follow. These are some really good takeaways. So, Biju, you mentioned you are 32 years in this industry, and
Yeah.
I took the liberty of doing a bit of background search on you. And you have been at P&O Nedloyd, you have been at Australian National Lines. So, at what point did you decide that enough is enough? I don't want to be with multinationals. I want to open a multinational myself, because now you today is in different nations of the world. So,
Yeah.
when did you decide to become an entrepreneur?
So great. So I started my career way back in '94 from the city of Joy, Kolkata, as a freight broker. And at that point in time, my dream company was P&O Containers then. Eventually, it happened P&O Nedloyd. And when the merger happened, I got a chance to be with them. And it also helped me, understand the way an MNC works, an organization of that size. I think that was number 2 then. And that helped me also move places, was working in down south, covering most of the ICDs. Then I was posted in Delhi. And that's, I think, where the trigger point came. One, I thought, personally, I was not very comfortable in Delhi, with all due respect, because it was not my cup of tea. But I thought the entire north location is a big opportunity. So I kept on moving to those ICDs. And I had, in some point in time, decided that not more than 2 years in Delhi. Also, my realization that, as a liner, I've got a limitation. So in serving the customer, in fact, understanding the subject itself. So that's where I thought, even if it is a smaller organization, I would like to give it a try. And by then, I have worked everywhere other than Mumbai. So that was my next target, that how could I move to Mumbai. And the opportunity came my way, and I had a chance to work with this Indian MNC, Cargomar. They were consolidators,
Right.
buyers consolidation, garments, and that's where I could pick up the larger tricks of the trade as a freight forwarder. And then there was no looking back. Almost 11 years with them before we ventured our own business in Navio. Yeah.
Super. Being an entrepreneur to the eyes of the world, you are making money, you are, it's very easy, you're a businessman, etc. But daily it is different, a different challenge. You wake up to a new challenge. What was the biggest hurdle or the biggest challenge that you face so far that you can remember as an entrepreneur?
So, yeah, while there is a distinct difference between working for corporates or working for someone else and you being an entrepreneur by yourself, but I believe basically my attitude was the same irrespective of wherever I worked. I took the accountability. It was being an Lloyd or Cargoma. I always thought I am entrepreneur for my space, and that's what the approach. So it was not very difficult when I switched gears here. I thought more than the business, managing people was one challenge which I've seen, and that was more internal. But externally, there have been a few things like UVL which happened, which is most unfortunate because we're not even directly linked to it. But then we have found our way. We've come out of it, and business is as usual in Navio at this point.
That's you mentioned about challenges with the people around you. So how do you recruit your team? What are the qualifications look into a person? Do you look at educational background, personal references, or how do you have such a big team now? So
Yeah.
what do you look into a person when you hire someone?
Yeah. So as you rightly said, I'm into marathon, but then I was always been a sports person. Right from my school days, I was more into hockey and football. So what I've seen, the attitude of a sports person is working in team. And they're more positive. They're accommodative.
Right.
So what I generally look at in a resume, if the person has some kind of a sports background, I probe it further and see to it if he has got that kind of an attitude. Obviously, subject knowledge or domain knowledge at certain position is important,
Right.
but nothing more than the attitude, to prove a point, not to the world but to yourself. So that's what I look in a candidate.
Super. I was actually going to come to your personal life about cricket and marathon pretty soon. So
Yeah.
now that you've touched upon it, let's hear it from you. I believe you have run the highest mountainable road in the world in Leh Ladakh. Am I right?
Yeah. So there's zing to it. I would say zincs to it. That's my wife who does it.
Oh, okay.
So she's been more into ultra running, Kardungla. She's done the peaks of Kilimanjaro,
Wow.
Everest Base Camp. I've been only a supporter and spectator. Yes, I did travel with her for that Comrades very prestigious run in South Africa. So there also I'm very clear in my mind. I do limited. I do run every alternate days, but then when it comes to marathon, I have not even done my full marathon. So wherever I'm comfortable, because it doesn't come naturally to me. Though they tag me as a marathon runner. Yes, I'm participating in many of the such programs, but then technically I don't think I fit into that. I'm more of a hockey, football, and obviously we played a lot of cricket also. But that's
Yeah,
how it is.
very humble of you to, accept that you're not a full runner, but then still that requires a lot of stamina, a lot of discipline. And despite handling a huge corporation, you still find time for something which is your passion. That is amazing. Coming to my next question now, in today's days and time, there's talk about AI and technology and all that. how do you keep ahead of um, the constantly changing technological scenario in Navio?
So there are two things to it. One, when I look at from an industry perspective, I always believed or thought that our industry itself is a little laggard when it comes to accepting technology. Yes, obviously there are many organizations who are far ahead. Um we've had a very peculiar situation because we also have, other than the freight forwarding, the NVOCC operations.
Right.
So that again has to be tailor made because we represent multiple principles. It cannot be in one what do you call system. So in the last so many years, we've been trying to work something which is more suitable to us. So it's more of an ERP which is internal, and obviously we have a CTO on board, and we are constantly also working on how the industry is moving and if there's some way we can improve on our systems too, including the AI part of it. But what is more important, I think, in shipping is the common sense, right? More than the AI, and the connect you have with the people, which technology cannot give.
True.
So yeah.
So, Biju, in the beginning, you mentioned, and of course, it's a well-known fact now that we are living in troubled times, and your company Navio has got multiple branches in some of the areas where the airspace is currently closed or they're planning to reopen it. So, in these troubled times, how do you keep your team motivated and keep them, their morale high?
Yeah. One most important is the constant communication, which is very important because there's so much of an uncertainty. Even today, we had two meetings, one with JNPT, because we have almost 1,000 containers stuck at different phases. Because you understand our core business has been Middle East, so at different principles, be it at the terminal here, be it on the ships, and be it some of the shipments which is already arrived. So obviously these are challenging times. So constant meeting is important. Today again, though it was Sunday, I was in touch with my leadership team, especially in NVOCC, because that's where the stakes are high. So that's what we are doing. It's about a week's time, but there is a daily meeting now with the team. Now what we're also looking at is tomorrow to have beyond India connect with the other branches of Navio, especially Dubai, and see how we could find a solution. Also, if there is further opportunity to expand ourselves in this troubled time.
Perfect. Okay. Now, as this podcast is like condensed to 15 minutes so that it's not too long or too short.
Yeah.
And we have almost come to an end to this. So before going, I want you to have the last word.
Yeah.
So Biju, if you want to give an advice to any aspiring entrepreneur, not necessarily a freight forwarder, but maybe let's say a sportsman who wants to become an entrepreneur, what is that one thing you would advise them, or a book you would ask them to read, or some wise philosopher you would ask them to listen to?
So if you ask me the book to read, I think there are many books which I've read, but the most closest to my heart is Bhagavad Gita, because it gives you all the solution for your problems. Now, to an entrepreneur, I would say don't copy anybody. You have your unique way of doing things. Stick to your core, stick to your style, and also learn from the failures. So that should help you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Biju. So that was Biju Sivakumar, and this is PRO-LOGUE, a podcast brought to you by PRO-LOGUE, an award-winning network. Thank you so much, Biju.
Thank you, Ganga. Thanks a lot.